just stood backstage and said, you know, what does it take to get your licence? Because I'm really, you know, I used to go on the back of a boyfriend's bike years ago. Used to love it. It had this big Harley Davidson with I think it was an electric glide with it was like an armchair stuck on the back.
Yeah.
And we go.
Oh, one of those
around.
you're high up. You sort of
yeah.
I feel like the little empress.
Yeah.
Going down. No, they are good fun. Those taxi bikes, they're great, aren't they?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll come and wave you off. Michael, we stand there going, see you, Ruthie. Ruthie.
I love you.
Congratulations on the show. You've had some
Thank
great
you.
crits. You really have. Yeah.
I don't actually read them, but they put all the best ones out front, you see, so you can then go along and go, oh, that one's so bad.
Do you read them after the show? You know, in the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll read them sometimes, not always, but I always think to myself that, you know, if you believe the good ones, you've got to believe the bad ones.
That's right.
Vice versa. And I think also it can be very destructive.
It can be very damaging, because you go out on stage, isn't it strange? And you can have glowing crit and one bad one, and that lousy line will pop in your head when you're on stage. And
I tell you, that I heard a story about, I think Madonna once said this, actually, that she can be in an audience full, she can be in Wembley, in front of 30,000 people, and she will see the one person like that. Oh. The rest of them could be cheering and screaming, Madonna, Madonna! But she will see that one person.
It's so true, and you waste all your energy, won't you, on that one person, trying to get them...
Yeah, and it's one person's opinion.
I know. Now, look, you've got a really successful team behind Marguerite, haven't you?
Oh, my goodness. I got the phone call to say, you know, would you come along and meet with the creative team of this new musical? I said, who is it? And they said, well, it's Claude Michel Schoenberg and Alain Bublé, who wrote Les Miserables and Miss Saigon. It's Michel Legrand, who's got 3 Oscars for various songs that he's done.
The Summer Knows he wrote, didn't he? The Summer Knows, that one.
And the Windmills of My Mind.
That's it,
and he wrote Yentl, the musical.
Oh, don't tell me about Yentl. I know every single word. So everybody's going to do Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you? You play a mistress, don't you?
I do. I play a mistress of a high-ranking German officer, and and I fall in love with a piano player who's half my age. And the German officer is played by Alexander Hansen, and played by Julian Ovenden, and I get to snog him a lot. Girls, you have to come for a view of Mr. Ovenden. That's quite nice, actually.
Eat the face off him, Ruthie, every night.
But you know what? I have to do it. It's my job.
Exactly. Life's tough, Ruthie. Life's tough. Very hard.
It's terrible. The cast has spent the last sort of, 3 months trying to find something that's really not so great about him, and we can't find anything yet. He's good-looking, talented, really nice. It's like...
You just ate him. And there's some great jazz numbers in the show as well, isn't there?
It's wonderful. And basically, I have this younger lover, and the German officer, of course, finds out about it, and it all...
Is this from...
Yes, Lady of...
Camp do that years... Remember Lindsay Camp?
No.
He was the dancer. They did a version of it years and years, and it's nothing like Marguerite. It was sort of a bit burlesque, fabulous. But basically, it was a story. Do you ever take her home with you, Marguerite?
Do you know, it's funny because I'm one of these people that, the lights come up, the overture starts, and that's when I'm in character. You know, that's when I step on stage and do my thing. Yeah. But in actual fact, this show has changed that for me, because there are points where I do have to actually get myself into a certain frame of mind, because it's quite dark in places. Yeah. It's a wonderful, soaring love story about this woman who's redeemed by love, but also it's very dark in places, and sometimes I have to take myself to some dark places to be there, and give the audience what they deserve, which is somebody.
Well, look, we've got a clip, Bert, please, if you would. Let's see, Marguerite, come on. Having a bit of that. Oh, yes.
Amazing.
Ruthie, You were living in New York, weren't you, before this part came up?
Yes.
So, yeah, so you just said...
Well, it was interesting you were talking about 9/11 because I just moved from New York and then to come back for Peggy Sue Got Married and 9/11 happened. And I went back 6 months after and everyone was talking at the time of 9/11 about how the whole atmosphere had changed. It was almost like the Second World War here. You know, everyone did things for each other. I went back 6 months later and everyone was like that again.
Back to normal.
Yeah, whatever. Do it yourself.
But that's true, because I remember me and Scylla went for a holiday and they were saying, oh, thank you for coming. And we were like, look, what do you mean? You know, like, we were like royalty visiting, and then, of course, like what you've just said, it's help yourself, do whatever.
We're so quickly back to that. It's such a shame.
Do you miss it at all, no?
I've just been living there for a year and a half. I came back to do this, and it's a very different city to bring up two small children.
Yeah, I should imagine so.
I loved it as a single person. As a mother of two children, I found it very difficult.
Yeah.
It was I was anxious the whole time. It's too busy, it's too big, it's too fast for two little ones.
Yeah, it's not a place for kids, is it?
No, I don't want to bring up my children there.
Yeah, Peggy Sue Got Married. That's the last time I saw you on stage. Yeah. That was a cracking show, you know, up there.
It was fantastic.
It was the energy of it, you know, it was brilliant.
It really deserved a run, but of course 9/11 just blew it out the water. But I mean, there were some issues with it. You know, the writers didn't quite hold it up as they should have done, and you know, I thought the set. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but I thought the set was awful.
It was a bit, yeah. But you forget all that.
Yeah.
But it's the sheer energy.
Was brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, Bob Gaudio wrote the music, and he's now it's all his music in Jersey Boys.
Well. So it's that up, you know, brilliant. And it was like, so that's what you waited for. So you forgave the set and all that.
Absolutely,
yeah. Because of the sheer energy that was coming over the footlights to the audience, which is really infectious, isn't it, when you're in the theatre?
Totally.
Did you enjoy Nancy? I saw you as Nancy as well in Oliver.
I didn't go to Nancy school.
No.
Because apparently they're all going to Nancy school now.
They're all going to...
They've chosen her now, haven't
they've chosen her, yeah.
No, I loved it because I love to play. I get beaten up a lot, actually, in my career. I play a lot of prostitutes.
Why is that, Ruthie?
I don't know.
Exactly. What is this, Ruthie?
I think it's the ballsy woman. Oh, can I say
Yes, you can. Yes.
I was told backstage I only have one thing to say. You can't swear. I said, but I have Tourette's.
And I have to tell you, Ruthie, in Hey Mr. Producer, you are one mean Tessitura, the Texas twirler. It was the way the wings came out and up you went on points and took off. Fabulous.
Amazing.
I hadn't been on
I saw it too.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I hadn't been on point in years. It was lovely. And I got my ballet shoes signed by Julie Andrews and Bernadette Peters. They signed each side. And do you know what was lovely about that whole experience was watching Julie Andrews, who just sort of sat in the corridor in her pink dressing gown. It was just terribly lovely to everybody. Could I have an autograph, please? Yes, of course. You know, just sort of sat. She was just diamond. At one point, she knocked on the dressing room door and said, "Would it be possible if my hairdresser could actually sort of do my hair in your dressing room?" Because she was in a dressing room full of 10 people. Not one of them was as big as her, but they were all making bigger noise. I tell you, you know, which is usually
it's always the way, isn't it? Always the way.
It is. The people at the top, I found, are normally really.
No trouble. And it's the small ones who are nightmares, isn't it? Ruthie, it's great to see you, it really is. Good luck at Marguerite. And
thank
you.
Bike.
Get the bike revved up, boys, please. Ruthie's coming through.
I might even go on with the skirt on.
You should do. Bike it off. Get there. Let it go. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's hear it for Ruthie Henshall. Come on. And Ruthie, thanks for coming on a busy day like this. Seriously.
Pleasure.
Oh, no, anytime. Now, what next? Because I'm getting a... Well, OK, I'll admit it, a little mature for my sort of exotic old striptease routine that I used to do in Germany many, many years ago. I'm going to learn a new act. It's with a Brazilian tambourine. Oh, don't go anywhere. See you after the break.
Next week, Paul's biggest birthday surprise and our series finale.